just like in life, if you do not take your chances, you will get punished. That was the message football sent in the game between Equatorial Guinea and Guinea yesterday in the third round encounter of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, round of 16, I should say, of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. So the man who has been in the spotlight since this tournament began, of course, missed the penalty for the Elephant, and they are, I'm sure by now, they should have booked their flight back home. Well, it's been a gallant performance for them so far. On that note, I welcome you to Sports Africa yesterday at the AFCON, and of course, looking forward to games that will be going down today. My name is Ashalulu Afemi, Kyle Dogundari and James Agberibi. They are here, and it's been an honor being alongside these two gentlemen. You're welcome to the show once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Femi. I'm happy to be on today's edition.
All right, James, I'll start with you. Like I said, football can be cruel. If you have not seen that before, if you didn't see Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Champions League final in 1999, I'm sure yesterday was another replay of some sort. 98 minutes when everyone was already gearing up for extra 30 minutes. Mohamed Bayo, I don't know whether that guy has a root or a narrative with Nigeria. He struck against Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea, in the 98th minute, and that was how it ended. When all of us were already preparing for a possible penalty.
Well, Femi, that was the thing about football. I call it the beauty of football. It's a big lesson for Equatorial Guinea. You know, most of the big teams too, they've gone through that heartbreak. Remember Nigeria and US in '94? I remember.
So it was their turn, right?
No, that's the thing about football. You know, Dutch national team Euro 2000, they missed a lot of chances and they lost to Italy in the penalty shootout. You know, so heartbreak is part of football. It's a big, like I said, it's a big lesson for them. You know, they were one of the standout teams in the group stage, and how all hopes were high for them. And you know, at the end of the day, they came crashing down. The Super Eagles, remember the last AFCON, we had a perfect record in the group stage. That's why we keep saying that whatever you did in the group stage is that is in the past. The round of 16 is brutal. It's a different experience entirely. If you keep referring to what you did in the group stage, you get the shock of your life. You know, they had a penalty, and the guy that have been carrying the team, he missed it. You begin to imagine, had it been he scored that goal, you know, I mean, what would we be saying? But it's sad, you know, it was a sad sight, you know, where you know what happened to them yesterday. But like I said, it's a learning curve. Most big teams have gone through this stage, and I believe they will. We know that whatever, when it comes to group stage and knockout stage, it's a different ball game. The way you approach it is different, you know. So I believe in the next edition, they would have learned one or two things, you know, from this edition. Good one from them that they made the AFCON exciting and showed that Minus too can play. And all the best to them in if they manage to qualify for the next AFCON. Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while. I saw grown men cry on television. Yesterday, I saw a number of Equatorial Guinean players, you know, crying. But I saw Emilio Insue trying to console his colleagues. Kayode, in the first half of that game, it was very, very lackluster. You had more fouls than shot on target. In the first 45 minutes, it appeared that both teams were just trying to size each other up, playing physical football. But I think the game sparked to life in the second half, and we saw Emilio Insue missing that penalty, and that heartbreak struck in the 90th minute. I'm sure the coach of Equatorial Guinea must have been maybe put a pen down at the players who will be possibly taking the penalties.
Yeah, actually, well, of course, there was going to be an time added on if that game had ended to 0-0 in regulation time. But I guess it was just too much, because the longer the game persisted, the stronger the Guineans got. And I think this Guinea team, which informed my position before the game that I think if there's going to be a winner in this game, it will be Guinea, is because I feel they have not really played to their full capacity. The aggressive that we talked about came into the game, and we saw the dangerous moments it caused in the game. Everything. Of course, we are not going to talk less about luck and everything that came together for Guinea, but they actually earned it. We saw Naby Keita come in and stabilize the team immediately. That was an instant impact. So at that point, from the moment Naby Keita got into the game, the team was now pressing forward. They were now pressing the advantage because they were playing with a man advantage. They were now pressing it. So it became very, very glaring that they were playing 11 against 10. And at the end of the day, something had to give, because with that wave of pressure, wave after wave, you knew at the point in time that something was going to give. If they didn't concede in regulation time, I'm not sure they would have been able to hold on for 30 minutes extra before a goal came. So I think the game went away according to my projections, even though I did not project that Equatorial Guinea were going to lose a man.
Okay, of course, I feel to acknowledge that you have a crystal ball in the corner of the room somewhere, because you talked about game, and of course, even on social media, you referenced it, and I remember perfectly what you said. James, let's talk about the red cards. I saw on the commentary, I saw a commentator defending the Equatorial Guinean player who was issued a red card. I'm talking about Bikoro. He was saying that it wasn't a red card, that he got the ball. It was the action that led to him getting the ball that made him hit the Guinean player in the mid area. But I thought that was red card.
That was red card all day. I mean, it was dangerous play. Fine, you got the ball, but I mean, look at the follow through. The force in which he came down with the boot and just landed on the guy's stomach, and I mean, it would have caused serious damage. After that, you begin to imagine what goes through the heads of some of these players. I mean, there are so many things FIFA have come out with to try and make sure players don't try and end the career of other players. We've seen players' career come to an end because of some nasty, some unimaginable, dangerous plays. You know, I mean, just check out. You can argue that fine, he got the ball, fine, he got the ball, but the follow through, I mean, it was too dangerous. I mean, look, the foot was just too high. The way it came down, it was as if he meant it. Maybe he felt after all I got the ball, so he didn't know that there will be they'll check that. I mean, it was a dangerous play. We've seen in some instances where a player got the ball, but at the end of the day, the way you went, that's why they stopped this tackle from behind, and they're trying to cut out a lot of things so that you don't endanger people's lives because you are playing football. I mean, it was the career span of footballers, you know. So for me, it was fine. A lot of people say it was harsh. He gave Guinea the advantage, but I mean, whose fault? I mean, you don't go into the field and trying to injure another player because you arguing that you got the ball, and no, you still have to look at the safety of the other players. Okay. That was what for the side to issue the red card.
Of course. Also, Guinea were eventually also reduced to 10 men. Kayode, if I'm to rate the worst teams in this competition in terms of expectation and the huge amount of disappointment, I think I will rate. I don't know whether I should rate Egypt above Cameroon or Cameroon above Egypt. Yesterday, I remember our preview of this game yesterday, but I remember in the game, late in the game, Egypt had a chance to win it. And I remember this Egyptian player, he completely left the ball behind. I think only Manchester United players are capable of doing that at this moment. Kayode, I don't know how disappointed you are that Egypt are jumped out. You know, in the past, the Egypt that would have won this game in normal time.
Yeah, and I think I put forward an idea that I felt in Egypt traditionally were slow starters, and that could account for why they struggled during the group games, and that this is the knockout stage. They were going to start firing on all cylinders. Femi, what I discovered was that this Egypt team were very, very damaged, a very, very bad team. Obviously, we had been seeing them through the lens of their past accomplishments. This team showed that they were not the team, they were not close to any of the teams of the past. Because you also look at the fact that in the group stages, they scored 6 goals and conceded 6 goals. They did not win a single match. And that was just too much. None of the previous teams ever considered that much.
Yeah.
So for me, this team is like as bad as Cameroon. But the good thing for them is South Africans, they have a way of reinventing themselves. I can bet you that in 3 months, you'll be surprised at where they will be. So that's the only advantage I think they have. But if you're going to group them on the basis of what they did, yeah, Cameroon and themselves, and probably Ghana will be in the same WhatsApp group. I'll put all of them in the game together. Yeah, that's for sure. But this is a very, very poor showing from the 7 times champions.
Okay, Kyle, you said WhatsApp, the same WhatsApp group.
Yes, I will put all of them in the same WhatsApp group.
That's the funniest thing I've heard this year. James, were you surprised? Mohamed Salah's dream of winning an AFCON has ended, and it ended on the right note, because if that Egyptian team had made it through, you will have asked how they even qualified to get to this level. Were you surprised? Congo dumped them out of on penalties, 8-7. Were you surprised?
Well, because of their reputation, slow starters and how they tend to grow into tournaments. But this team, I think if they had gone further, it would have been like a travesty, because this is a team that I can't recall the last time I watched a very bad Egyptian team. With me, they didn't even deserve to go further, because just like what I already said, an Egyptian team that conceded 6 goals in the group stage didn't even win a single game. So I think they were just still trying to use their experience of when it gets to the knockout stage, and it almost helped them against Congo. But unfortunately, Gabalski, the goalkeeper, missed a crucial penalty. So for me, it just sums up their tournaments. And this is not the first time. Even the last edition, how they got to the final, it was just penalties. I saw a stat that the last time they won a knockout game, I think in open play, was against Morocco in 2017. Which means in 2019, they got knocked out by South Africa in the round of 16. In the last edition, when they got to the final, they were just penalties all through for them. So it means the knockout stage, it's either they push it to penalties or they crash out. So I mean, it's one of the most disastrous Egyptian team I've ever seen. I can't recall any that I've watched. So they did all they could to try and drag themselves to, but it just showed that they didn't deserve to qualify, and that was what we saw.
Okay, I know that Coach Yuri Victoria will likely join this competition, or even as soon as they get back to Cairo. Cairo, let's talk about the big match that we have today. Ivory Coast, they are being given another chance, a second chance to live, so to say. But Aliou Cisse, in the pre-match press conference, he said that he would not recognize or agree to the idea that Ivory Coast are a punching bag. Talking about when it comes to rivalry in African football, form is nothing to be written about. But supercomputers have given it to Senegal 53.5% chance of making it through. Do you agree that with this, Ivory Coast might, because of what has transpired in the past? Remember, after their 4-0 trouncing by Equatorial Guinea, we saw their fans went on rampage and all that. We saw their players, they were crestfallen. But do you think that they can rise to the challenge today?
Well, stranger things have happened in football, Femi. So it will be remiss to just sit down here and say Ivory Coast are going to win hands down. Of course, if you have to give if you have to give this game to somebody, you will be tempted to look beyond Senegal winning this game. You will be tempted to look beyond them. From all indices, they've won 3 out of 3. They've been very, very imperious in all 3 games. They've beaten all three teams convincingly. Ivory Coast, on the other hand, are just they got through to this stage by the backyard. As a matter of fact, somebody was telling me that CAF just wanted them to be in there. I said no, it wasn't CAF. It was the fact that other teams didn't do what they should have done. Because if Ghana had stayed in the competition, Ivory Coast would be out of it today. If Zambia had not lost to Morocco, Ivory Coast would be out of it today. So it's a combination of a lot of things. Of course, I'm going to give it to Senegal because the truth is this Senegalese team are just too strong for this Ivorian team. But there's a big but, Femi. Ivory Coast will be counting on two things. The fact that they have this chance, because they saw a glimpse of what their supporters are capable of doing the night they were beaten 4-0 by Equatorial Guinea. They saw the fans go on rampage, destroying things. So they would not want a repeat of that. And that's where I think some hand of Maradona could come into this game. Don't take it past. Yes, don't take it past CAF and
by who?
Yes,
by CAF or
yes,
by who?
That's one. I hate conspiracy theories, but in this case, do not take it past them. One, of course, security will be beefed up because I spoke with some guys in Ivory Coast the night of that match, and they told me how difficult it was for them to get from the stadium to their hotels because they were just beating people on site and destroying things. That's one. Secondly, those fans will want to be the 12th player on the pitch for Ivory Coast. But for me, what I just fear is that a bad product is a bad product any day. This team that I'm seeing, coupled with the fact that they are frantically going to look for somebody who is going to coach them. So everything is looking just bad for Ivory Coast. But then sometimes some teams, some people look when they are down on their luck, they rise through adversity against all expectations. That's the window of doubt that I want to open for Ivory Coast. Or else every other thing is pointing to a Senegal victory.
Okay, Kayode, you are really pulling no punches on the show today. First, you put Senegal, you put Cameroon, Egypt, and Ghana in one WhatsApp group, and now you are anticipating a hand of God in this game. James, let's look at the past meetings between these two teams. In 1965, of course, Côte d'Ivoire won 1-0 against Senegal in the third place playoff at the AFCON. Then in 1986, they also won 1-0 in the group stage. But the last time, Senegal won 1-0 thanks to a goal by Moussa Ndiaye. With everything, James, with all the, trying to put everything in context now, everything that has happened to Ivory Coast, sacking Louis Gasset, the fans going on rampage, the players crestfallen, now that they have a second chance. Do you agree with Kayode that it might be the toughest encounter that Senegal might face yet at this competition?
For me, looking at this game, I don't want to be in the shoes of, I don't know if the Ivorian players, I don't know their mindsets now. As a player, I would not even want to be part of that squad because everything, the way everything pans out, that the tension will be massive. Fine, they eventually qualified, but Femi, I'm telling you, everything, the way the whole thing is set up now, the pressure, I don't know whether they'll be able to handle the pressure because the last time we all saw what the fans did. So that tension will be there. So that's why if you go into the game, I think Senegal will be more relaxed. They are not under pressure. They are playing against the host, who must prove that what happened in the group stage was just one of those things. So they have another chance now. So it's like somebody behind you with dangerous weapon, waiting for you to do something.
But they don't have a coach. They said they are looking for a coach to even coach them in this game.
They don't even need a coach this time. Without a coach, they
know what's at stake.
They disappointed their fans, so it's redemption time now. They don't even need, like I said, they don't even need a coach. They just have to go there and put things right because if they want to be, I can't recall a host team that they have played so badly. They had to rely on help from somewhere. It was too embarrassing. So luckily for them, they have this opportunity now. So whether it be Senegal, they just have to go there and put things right. They have to play the games of their life. I'm telling you, that's why I said I don't even wish to be part of this squad because it's like nobody is safe. You don't know what will happen because disappointed the fans twice in the same tournament. I don't know how they're going to take it. So everything, their lives, everything depends on this. Their legacy, everything in this game. Femi, I don't know what will happen. I can't even I don't even know what to say, but all the best to them.
All right, you are really leaving them in limbo there. Akari, let's talk about the games that have been tagged as the match for the underdogs. Cape Verde versus Mauritania. We all knew if we can still consider it a game of the underdogs, but it's more like both of them are on the different sides of the coin. Cape Verde, they were high flyers during the group stage. Mauritania, we knew how they qualified. But Kyle, is this going to be an equal matchup, or you expect Cape Verde, a very small nation, to have the edge in this one?
I think that if a team is going to stop Cape Verde, it won't be Mauritania. That's just the truth. Yeah, they will be too strong for Mauritania.
Yeah, the Oracle has spoken.
Yeah, they will be too strong for Mauritania. I expect them to do, because the thing about that team is, like I talked about the last time we were here, Femi, I told you how impressed I am by their mentality. They do not see themselves as a small team again. They were disappointed that they allowed Egypt to run away with a draw, when they knew that even if they had lost that game, they would still have qualified ahead of everybody in first place. But they were disappointed. For me, that is champions mentality. And that's why I think they are not going to be complacent against Mauritania today. They're going to beat Mauritania well, truly well. So if they are going to crash out, I don't think it will be against this Mauritanian side. And that's without any disrespect to Mauritania. But I think Cape Verde would just be too strong for them.
Okay, James, a lot of things are at stake for Mauritania. First, this is going to be their first ever knockout game at the AFCON. And in the head-to-head, this is also going to be the first time Mauritania will be meeting Cape Verde at the AFCON. So a lot of things are at stake for Mauritania. Do you think they can stand up? We know they are going to put up a fight, but do you agree with Kade that just like Angola for Namibia, the Cape Verdeans will be too much for them to handle?
Yeah, with what we've seen of the Mauritanians, they are this team that they just come in and give you a fight. They don't care who you are. But this is the group stage, and this is where experience counts now. Because you approach the group stage, you approach the round of 16. You have to be cautious and not like you just go gung-ho and feel, let's action pack, let's just go out there. No, this is the round of 16. You have to be cautious. You have to know when to attack, know when to reduce the tempo. You just have to be smart about the whole thing. So Cape Verde have been here before. They understand what it means to play in the knockout stage. Mauritania, they are still basking in the favor of one of the teams that have been the surprise package. So I hope that mentality has died down, because this is the business end now. This is where you have to be smart about how you approach the game, and you have to be cautious. You have to know what to do, when to press, when to go, when to defend, and So I hope we'll be able to understand all these things. But on the balance of things, you still want to give it to Cape Verde, because they've shown that they are a team that you cannot just look away from. They have what it takes to do away with Mauritania. Well, it's going to be very difficult. Mauritania will make it tough for them, but I believe they are experienced enough, and they would have seen what have happened to their kind, and that's in terms of Equatorial Guinea. And I don't think they want to go in that route. So I'll tip them to take it, maybe by the odd goal.
Okay, all right. But we were expecting a very, very interesting encounter yesterday. A lot of people on social media said the game between Egypt and DR Congo was a bit dull. So it was only Equatorial Guinea and Guinea that a lot of people said they actually enjoyed yesterday. But trust me, today, these two matches is going to be drama-packed. Thank you so much, guys, for your thoughts on the show today. I appreciate
Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, and all the best to Côte d'Ivoire.
All right, James, we are really taunting Ivorians on the show today. Okay, guys, our fans, we appreciate you so much for your support always. Please don't forget, please subscribe to our channel. We told you that what have you found interesting, or what have you found put off in this AFCON? Please let us know in the comment section. Wherever you are across the world, we trust that you are following development in the tournament. And for Nigeria, they're hoping that the first choice goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali, will be fit for the quarterfinal game against Angola on Friday. Also, yesterday, we heard that CAF took Victor Osimhen for a random dope test. So we are waiting for the outcome of that game. A lot of people thought it was after the game against Cameroon. And no, feelers from Cote d'Ivoire said it was after the game against Guinea-Bissau. So we wait the response from CAF if actually that is what happened. So you can always stay tuned here as we give you all the best regarding the AFCON. So today is going to be another awesome day. Tomorrow we'll return with another yesterday at the AFCON, and of course, looking at games that will be taking place tomorrow. Until then, I remain Ashalulu Afemi. See you all. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye for now.